There we
There we
go.
go.
All right. Hello, love. Today we are sharing about living your chosen path. And I asked one of my soulmate, amazing clients, Jamie Ploog, to come on and talk about her journey of like why she wanted to live her chosen path and what that's like. And we're just going to dive in, and I'm going to ask her some questions and she's going to share freely with you. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy this. Take notes. Give us your love. Give her your love. I'm gonna, let's see here. We cannot see the names and profile pictures. Okay, so I won't be able to see your name or profile picture if you are commenting. But please feel free to comment, and I will do my best to interact. And if you comment while we're live, I will come back into the group, and Jamie and I can answer anything that you have afterwards. And if she has time, she has a full-time job as well. So welcome, Jamie. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I have loved working with you in one-on-one stance first, and then in a group program. So why did you choose to live, or even find out what your chosen path was?
First, I've loved working with you. You have always made it comfortable. And so starting before the chosen path class, I did the How to Live Your Divine Guidance. Is that what it's called? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
I signed up for it and I don't even know what it was called.
It's Create the Spark.
Create the Spark. Yes, that one. That's what I did. Yeah. Because I was lost. I just felt lost, and I didn't know, as a mom, as a woman, I was lost. Mm-hmm. And so we worked together, and then I again was feeling lost, and you were sensing that I was feeling lost because you showed up at my house and you came to visit me. And I did. Yeah. And you made it really clear that like you needed to connect with me. And that made it very clear to me that then there was something not right in my life. There was something off, and there was something that I could not find alignment back again. And so when we had started working together again, one-on-one, and then you started to create, How to Live Your Chosen Path. It just kind of like, it all worked. Like it made more sense for me to do that program than working one-on-one with you again, not because it wasn't working, but because this is really what I needed. And I really needed to figure out where I needed to go in life. And so that was why really I decided.
Yeah. So you have a full-time job. You are a teacher. You love it. You love the children. Yes. But what was the something more? Because most people who come to me are wanting to know more, like, why is my soul here? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Is that was something, or was it something else? Put it into your own words, because I get too woo-woo with it.
No, it was just, I couldn't find alignment. I couldn't find feeling peaceful. I just remember feeling like, okay, school's going to start again. And I started just feeling like I couldn't catch a break almost. It was like everything was going in 1,000 directions. And I don't know that I have a really good reason or a really good answer. I just know that I was just not feeling in alignment and I needed more. I just needed to know, maybe, was this my chosen path? Maybe it wasn't my chosen path. And I needed to be doing something different. I have a lot of avenues happening in my life with, being a farm wife and a school teacher, and just was there something different that maybe I never considered because of having anxiety before in my life, that I have learned that I have limiting beliefs because I found ways to not have anxiety. And so I was clinging on to things. And so I think that was more so than anything, like I just needed to figure out, was this a limiting belief of needing to be a teacher, or was it really my chosen path?
Mm-hmm. I distinctly remember when we were working one-on-one, how much love and passion you have for teaching. And you are very clear with your values of like, this is who I am. And this is what, and these are my passions. I never once was like, I felt inside of me that there was something else, but I wanted to meet you where you were at and not be like pushing you to out of your comfort zone. And so when I did finally channel your chosen path because you felt ready, what was your first reaction to embracing the chaos and loving every moment of it?
Holy what? I do remember. I remember you were like telling me that I was like going to create this class for, moms and teaching them how to create their busy life or, create that, like embracing that chaos and just loving it. And I very distinctly remember the one thing I remember you saying, and I'm not sure if you remember it, but I do not need you to become Rachel Hollis. I just need you to be you. And like, that was like, you were very clear, like you're already this person, like you're already doing this. Yep. This is where you are. Now you need to create something to share it with everybody. And so I just remember like, okay, like I remember the first time you ever channeled for me, I was like in awe because I'm like, there's no way she knows all of this stuff about me. And how like, what? So
freak.
No, it was just like, if if you could tell me these things about myself, I had put all of this trust into you. So like when you had said this is your chosen path, it wasn't ever an option of like doing it or not doing it. It was just the how.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it became.
So when you found out your chosen path, when we touched upon it, where were you in your life? Relationships, professionally, spiritually, personally? You had gone through, like you had worked through.
Yeah.
You were able, maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but like you had worked through the chaos and you're still living it because it's whatever, but it wasn't like eating you alive.
Right.
And you were able then to love on it. But you were just saying like, it's part of me. My living, like my chosen path is me. Right. And so I feel like at the point that you came to me with wanting to know and live your purpose and calling, you were able to be like, oh, yeah, like I have gone through X, Y, and Z, but I'm willing to look at it. And your relationship with your husband and your children were good. And there wasn't all of the stuff that we had to work through. It was like this sweet spot where you had done the work and you had done some healing, and because it wasn't just me. I mean, you had worked like before, and so I mean, you've been doing it,
Right.
You were feeling good, you were feeling happy, and that sort of thing. Is that because that's what I found, where people are like, there's this sweet spot of like, I've done the work, I've done a lot of healing, but yet I feel like there's more. What's your input on it?
No, yeah. Really, when we started working on my chosen path or talking about it, I had already embraced the chaos. I had embraced myself. I think that's the thing that when people want to know like what my class is about, that's it. I'm not going to teach you 75 ways to schedule your life. Like that's because what works for me is not what's going to work for you. Like that's not my jam. It's learning how to embrace yourself. Because once you embrace what's happening here, everything gets so much better. And so, I learned that just looking at a situation negatively versus positively, like I think before, like it was always to the negative. And so like just learning how to embrace and being grateful and having a gratitude attitude and that kind of stuff has really shaped me. But then as I'm helping women, it's there. So like professionally, I just remember very distinctively the first day that I even said I was going to do this class. I had a small panic attack. I was like, holy, like I'm being vulnerable. Like, how can I be vulnerable? So like doing all of this.
The class that you have designed.
The class
right?
I've designed. I'm sorry. Yes, the class I designed. And like, I remember like I was connecting and was like, what am I going to tell these ladies today? Because I have a group that is mom supporting mom. It's a beautiful group. Like we just support each other. But that was what it was going to be today, that I was going to start teaching this class. And I remember I had this very small panic attack, and it wasn't even about teaching the class. It was about me being vulnerable, because I still needed a little bit of a push. So even though I've done all this work and we work together, I still at times have to get out of my own way. So I think, but then the like real day, like I dug into my office, I like rearranged my office, I cleaned things out. I remember I was rewriting the first class for like the third time, not because it wasn't good enough, but because I was just like, oh wait, I think this would be better here. And like when I was connecting, I just had different ideas.
And when you say when you're connecting to spirit, God.
Yep.
Okay.
I just remember feeling this like giant hole in my chest. And I just remember like, it just kind of felt like everything that I was carrying around was just like lifting up off of me when I was working on that chosen path, when I was working towards who I was really meant to be. And so it was, that was like the real, like, okay, being vulnerable is okay, because when you're vulnerable, you give everybody else kind of a Me Too platform. And so that's really what the class is about. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like living your chosen path was unattainable, or is just like so far, like how in the world did that possibly be?
When you sent me that question, I laughed, because I think it's both. I think depending on where I am in my head, and that's all it is today it's completely attainable, and it's like, okay, I've got this list of things I'm going to do in order to obtain it. And then yesterday I was just like, oh gosh, I don't know. Can I really do this? Like it's me getting out of my own way. When I'm in my own way, that's when I feel like it might not be. But when I am like aligned, go ahead.
So I say get out of your own way a lot. I mean, you're speaking a lot of my language because we've worked together a long time, and I probably speak whoever else's language, like we all just kind of, but when you are saying get out of your own way, what does that mean?
That means get out of my own head. That means stop filling a void or a gap in the plan. So like if I'm here and I need to go here, I will sometimes fill it with negativity first, and then I have to stop myself and say, okay, that's all lies. Like, how am I going to make that jump? How am I going to bridge that gap? Mm-hmm. And so I really am just getting in my own way at times.
So I see that in people, even like when people are coming to me and being like, oh, it's a group program, there's going to be other people in it. I'm a private person. There's no way I could do that. Did you feel like the group program was, because you worked with me one-on-one and in the group, and I didn't send you this question. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants because that's sometimes what I do. So bear with me. So if people are concerned about, oh, it's a group program versus one-on-one, you've actually done both. Did you feel like the group program was a safe place, or do you feel like when like getting out of your own way is that like, oh, it's a group program, it's not safe, I'm a private person, I don't want to share? Do you think like, I feel like that would be a thought that would get in your own way, but I'm also the one leading it, and I've been part of group programs, and I've also been part of one-on-one. So I'm all over the place with like my vulnerability, obviously. So from your standpoint, because you seem like a private person, now you have opened up.
Right.
How was the group program versus one-on-one for you?
Honestly, if you asked me to do the group program when we first started, I don't know that I would have been comfortable with that. Obviously, Sarah, I cried every single session of our one-on-one, so I'm not sure I would have felt comfortable crying in front of an entire group.
Yeah.
But when it came to the group, I've always felt comfortable in the group. I always felt, again, that Me Too. Like everybody else was either struggling with something or needed to work on something. And so there never, was like a worry about being vulnerable. I would say though, I was very comfortable with you and then again myself. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can see where can be an issue, just because
Mm-hmm.
if you're not in a spot where you're comfortable being vulnerable.
Yeah. And that's where, so like Julie will be interviewed next week. And Julie and I hadn't worked together one-on-one, but she had done a lot of work on herself and had become comfortable in her own skin. And so, if there are things like overcoming a lot of emotional stuff,
Yeah.
because more than likely you're not quite ready to live that chosen path if you've got all this emotional mindset stuff that we need to work on first. So that makes sense. I feel weird asking this, but I'm going to. So what was your experience like working with me?
Oh, Sarah, you shouldn't feel weird about this at all. You know how much I absolutely enjoyed working with you. And that is not like just because we have worked together forever. I worked with people before you that I got nowhere. And so when working with you, I just felt like you were giving me answers to questions, or you were giving me tools to put in my toolkit on mindset issues or lies I had believed forever that I knew I needed to change, but I didn't know how. You were giving me that help and that support. And so I think at one point you asked me to write something about our time together, and I wrote that you brought me from the dark and into the light. And I truly, truly believe that. Like that was huge for me. Just being able to move on from that. So working with you was amazing.
I saw it in you. And that's what's just so cool. It's like, I saw you light up. I saw you shift. You look like a completely different person sitting in front of me than that first day.
Yeah.
I mean, the confidence that you have now is just so cool. And yes, it's me, but you're like, how did she know that about me? Because that's what people usually say. It's literally spirit. Like it's literally spirit working through me, talking to your soul, and your soul's actually coming alive and like telling you the information that it's always known. And it's like, I think you even said like this has like working together and stuff has brought you back to you, like who you really are. Mm-hmm. There's a gal who was on the who had commented. I think there may have been a couple of people who commented on seeing a blue jay and stuff, and in my meditation, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I connect with that too." And the blue jay means like you're ready to bring out the true you, and I was like, I think that's like a sign, and I'm not always like big into signs and stuff, but. Like, it's like bringing out that true you. Like, I don't want to change you. I just want the best for you, you know?
Right. 100%. And I never felt like you were trying to change me. You never asked me once to meditate or connect, or that was always just there if I wanted to, or, you were just really trying to help me. And honestly, the lessons that we work through each week were really things that I had never thought of needing to reevaluate or go back in and really think about. But once I did it, I was like, yeah, this should have been done a way long time ago, but I think you're just so, sometimes you're just so focused on trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel that you don't know what the stops are you have to make in order to get to that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, for sure. So how are you living your chosen path now?
Well, I have, like I said, a Facebook group for moms called Embracing the Chaos and Loving Every Minute of It. And it's just a group that mostly is comprised of my Facebook friends, and then those friends have shared with their friends. And it's a support. It's, there's people in there who have written that they had a really bad day, or they've lost their job, or things just with all of the quarantine isn't going well. And then there's times where we're celebrating and we're so excited about things, and everybody just kind of rises up and supports everybody no matter which way it is. I also then am teaching a class, Embracing Your Chaos and Finding the Light Within. And so that is happening right now for 7 weeks with a bunch of wonderful women who just need to learn how to, embrace themselves and know that they're exactly perfect as they are right now.
Mm-hmm. So how cool is this? It was October last year, 2019, that you started the 12-week program.
Mm-hmm.
And your program started beginning of this month or just like a couple weeks ago sometime?
Yeah. The 18th. It was just this week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How cool is that?
That is really cool.
like what, 8 months? October, November, December, and then plus 5.
Yep.
See, I could do 3rd grade, first grade math, maybe kindergarten. There we go. Just joking.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
5th grade math?
4th and 5th. Yeah, 4th and 5th.
Yeah, you have how many students currently?
Well, I have, like 60 some.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So when you're talking about embracing the chaos of a farm, a husband, mm-hmm. teaching 4th and 5th grade, 60 plus students, 3 children, a household, and then your husband, well, he used to travel. I don't know now with the coronavirus, but like traveling. So you were like single mom for like 3-4 days of the week. So you know all about embracing the chaos. And that's what was so cool when I was on the group call with you and a couple other gals a couple of weeks ago. And I was just like watching all of you because I like to like look back and observe and how cool it is to see like your chosen path really is you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all the stuff that you have gone through and you can teach now. And so when people are like, oh my God, my chosen path is so far from where I'm at. Like, I feel like you're awesome because you're like, I'm going to take this one step at a time. Like the class literally like in 8 months went from conception to birth, which is pretty much, it's now your baby.
Yeah, 100%.
You're like, yay, I had another child.
Toby said I wasn't going to do that. No, I love it. So yeah, I just remember like when you did channel my chosen path, you were very, like, you gave me steps. Like that was to me, it was almost like, okay, so here it is. You're going to do this. And I remember going, oh, what? And then you're like, but first you're going to just work on it. Just, I know you sit and meditate every morning, so you're just going to work on it. And then as you work through it, it's gonna come up. And it was very, okay, like you gave me a roadmap. It wasn't as overwhelming as the first initial kind of like, and I think too, it wasn't like, okay, well, you're gonna go and you're gonna, be a principal, or you're gonna go and do this. It was something kind of outside of what my career was. And so that too can be overwhelming because I love where I work and I love who I work with. And, I love all of that. So
yeah, for sure. But it was also something that you could do like in addition to. It's not instantly like, I have to quit my job and my whole life's over and I got to divorce my husband and move and oh my God. So like,
right.
No. It's not like that. Yeah. Cool. Well, it has been such an honor continuing to know you. I mean, I've known you for most of all my life. We went to, for those who are listening, we went to high school together and then we reconnected after a vulnerable message that I shared on Facebook, and Jamie reached out to me and she's like, I think I may need to work with you. And I was like, oh, all right, well, let's chat and see. And so here we are. I am very proud of you. Keep going and keep that group going. As you just continue to show up, as soon as continue to add value, they'll keep coming. Your people are already waiting for you. I think that was one of the things that Spirit shared with you, and to already have people signed up and they're like, heck to the yes. And then that ripple effect. That's really why I wanted to interview my soulmate clients that I call you that I love working with, because my goal is to have 100 people this year living their chosen path. And it's not about Sarah's going to make some money this year. It's not about that. It is about people saying yes to themselves, yes to spirit, God, creator, the universe, whatever resonates with you, and yes to moving forward. It has nothing to do with, oh, yes, I'm going to have this program, and yes to Sarah. It's like, you know what? My time is now. But then I want that ripple effect of like, now you know your chosen path. You're living it to whatever degree it is. And then you're affecting 150, 200 people in a group. And then now you're doing it with the course. And then they're going to go out and be happier, healthier, more fulfilled. And then they're going to create their own stuff, and it's going to keep rippling on and on and on. And then the planet is ready to have us all elevate, to have us doing what we're here to do. And so thank you so much for sharing. And please, if anybody's listening and wants to join into Jamie's Facebook group, Embracing the Chaos and Loving Every Minute of It, is that what it is? Or connect with her on Facebook, wherever else you are. You can put it in the comments. If you have a link to your class, whatever, feel free. Connect with her, love on her. Is there anything else that you want to share?
No, I just thank you. I mean, thank you for that vulnerable message. That was honestly, I feel like the beginning of my life now, honestly, because you being vulnerable showed me that it's okay to be vulnerable, and that was amazing. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, so much love to you, and there's comments. Hang on just a second. It says, hello, ladies. And all I can see is Facebook user. I will get on the page, and so beautiful. Hear such vulnerability and open sharing. It is by going down into abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Joseph Campbell, you reminded me of this quote, and others say how. So I think that is it. We will respond if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to us about anything that we've talked about. So much love to you, and happy Friday. Bye, loves.
Bye.